Hey, we're in Lima, Peru, where we are traveling and working for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And this is our second attempt at taking such an adventure.
Whew. And I would say far more successful than the last one.
So far, so good. So one of the biggest problems that I had was that I like to work at night or in the afternoon. That's when I really get fired up. And Shreya, she likes to get her stuff done early. So she's knocking things out in the morning and being super productive. So when we first went to Asia on our first go at this, she was finishing up all her work for the day, and I really hadn't even gotten started yet. So that was one of the biggest issues we had. And now, second time around, trying things here in Peru, in Lima, is I have been working in the mornings. So we've been focusing on getting our work done in the mornings, and then once it's lunchtime, we get to go out and do some exploring and have some food. The other thing that has helped me is to have a more normal workstation that I'm used to. So see, I got my trackpad, keyboard, and a little laptop stand to raise it up because I hate trying to work slumped over the computer in a coffee shop. It just doesn't work for me. So I do this little setup and it makes me feel great. We are on the north coast of Peru in a town called Puerto Malabrigo?
Yeah, Malabriga.
Malabrigo.
Okay. So now we have comparison between our Peru experience and our Asia experience and what it was like working in both of these places. I have to say that we learned quite a bit from our Asia experience.
How so, Shreya?
Well, there, I would wake up in the morning and I'm all gung-ho. I'm like working on stuff because I'm like, I want to go explore food places for lunch and then go do all these go to this market and do this other thing. And so I had this plan in my head, did not communicate that to Colin, and then we would fight because he wanted to have like a leisurely morning and then start working like basically right at lunchtime. So another one of the struggles that we had when working in Asia versus here was that having like a dedicated place to work. For me, I grew up in like a really loud household, and so I'm used to having like lots of background noise and being like slightly uncomfortable when I work. And so I can go to a coffee shop and just like zone in and get stuff done.
Zone out and zone in?
Zone out and zone in.
And I can't zone out because I'm zoned in on all the neat stuff happening around.
Yeah. And so that was a big struggle in Asia, although I will say in Asia the coffee shops were pretty amazing for working. Like the Wi-Fi was great. Tasty they had neat little
pastries.
Setups. Tasty pastries.
Yeah. Egg yolk coffee?
Oh yeah. So it was like bulletproof coffee on steroids because it's got that egg yolk. But here in Peru, I think, well, when I was looking at hotels, what I tried to do was to find, aside from this one specific one, hotel rooms that had like a little workspace.
At a desk.
Yeah.
Except for One was a desk where the TV was right in front of you.
Yeah.
So you couldn't like set your computer up because there was a TV.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
It was weird. But that was good, right? Because what I've noticed about the coffee shops here in Peru is that they're not really set up in a good way to like work.
All right. So we are at the end of our 3-week trip here working in Peru.
Yeah, and we were watching Survivor the other day, and this Indian woman on there, I was ashamed of her. Wait, can I talk about this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because she got like this tiny cut on her hand, and she had this really dramatic response to it, and then I just had a similar response where I have a tiny cut on my foot, and I was like, I'm bleeding profusely.
Do you see it, Colin? Do you see it?
Anyway.
She's doing fine, though.
Yeah.
So, we were just trying to... We actually had lunch with a couple other attorneys.
Yes.
Or another attorney from Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to recount
and her man.
We were trying to recount our trip to them.
Yeah.
And we're remembering on the first day when we got here in a daze after a red-eye flight, we went and we tried to get cell phones. Well, we didn't try, we did.
Yeah, we did it.
So it was great. We had cell phones for like $10 for a month of service.
Mm-hmm.
And data, unlimited WhatsApping.
Yeah.
So that was a bonus. That
Huge
was a good
bonus.
thing here.
Mm-hmm.
A negative was the coffee shop situation.
Mm-hmm.
It seems people just go to drink coffee.
And hang out.
Yeah, they don't go to set up a workstation. But, you know, we were had a meeting today and just went to one of those shops and we're like, no, this is all about coffee.
Yeah.
So we ducked into a Starbucks real quick.
I know. I was like slightly ashamed that we went to a Starbucks in a different country,
But they had great internet.
yeah.
We did our Wi-Fi calls.
Yeah.
No problems.
No problems.
Nobody bothered us.
Yeah. A nice little place to sit.
It was quite fantastic.
Go Starbucks.
Yes.
Seattle company.
Yes. What else? What else about working here? Cell phone service was a little sketchy in some parts.
At times.
It was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Great horns though here.
Yeah.
You heard that. What else do we do to run a business?
It was easier because the time difference was so close to Seattle. Like it's basically as though we were in Texas or Chicago or something.
Yeah, and we only goofed it once by we got a late evening appointment today.
Yeah.
And then we got to hustle over to dinner.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's all about that hustle grind. That digital nomad hustle grind.
What else?
I think that's it.
Do you look at yourself in the thing, or do you look at the lens?
I think I look at myself.
I can't stop looking at myself. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to keep the old business going while we're away.
And I've noticed that a lot of people are, at first, when they call a receptionist, and a receptionist is like, oh, they're not available until, I don't know, 3 days from now because, well, the receptionist doesn't give them a reason. People might be a little bit like, meh, why is that? I don't like that. But then when I email them and I'm like, hey, sorry, we're going to be trekking through the Andes, they're like, oh, that's so cool. I don't mind waiting.
Yeah. I know, I've started every email with greetings from Peru. It's
Good for you.
Yeah. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually, something we did, we were talking about work schedules. And I think when we went to Asia, it was 5 weeks, and it was a really long time. This time we did 3 weeks, and we scheduled things to kind of be away and unavailable for, you know, a week or a few days, and then we were available for a few days, and then unavailable for a few days. So there's never really a super long stretch of time when we were just totally off the grid, and that seemed to work out pretty darn well.
It did. I liked it.
Cool.
And so did our clients so far.
Yeah, I hope so. And so we're heading back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple months, 3 months.
Of no leaving.
Yeah. And then we're on to the next adventure.
Yeah.
Tokyo.